This is Power Hour with Gabriella Power.
Hello and welcome to Power Hour Deep Dive. I'm Gabriella Power. Thank you for joining us. Well, no matter where you're watching this from in the world, you have to check out these videos. They are going viral and they're going viral for a reason. They're taking us right back to the old Australia, what Australia used to be like. And joining us in the studio is the creator of these viral videos, Sam Thompson, founder and director of AKTA Media.
That sounds very official. Thank you. Thanks, Gabriella.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
You must have had a lot of fun making these videos.
Yeah, it's been a wild. I think it's only been 8 months since we started doing them, and so it's been, it's been crazy. I'm sure we'll get into it, but yeah, it's been a wild couple of months.
I think I first saw the videos really taking off after Bondi, and so many of us, we just had our hearts shattered with that Bondi Beach terror attack. But it was amazing to see so many people really drawn to your videos. I saw people who have very different views around politics, people all around Australia liking and resharing your videos. And I think they're really unifying.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, even after Bondi, like making this video particularly, I remember just kind of being in tears on the way to work after it happened the next morning, just kind of really shocked. Like I think it really hit me and affected me in ways that I didn't consider before. I mean, you take the most iconic place in Australia. So we did some years in America, and most people would say, "Where are you from? Bondi, Sydney?"
Yeah.
Like that's generally the consensus about Australia is Bondi Beach. And so you take our most iconic place. It's not Parliament House. You know what I mean? It's not even really. I mean, the Outback is iconic too, but it's Bondi Beach, and you take that and you destroy the thing that makes us Australian. I think it hit all of us.
It really did.
And so my way, I wanted to maybe jump on and blast some people, or maybe jump on and I was angry, but my way was just to kind of get creative. And so when I made that video, I didn't know it would go as far as it did, but I'm glad it did. I'm glad that it, I was telling you on the phone this week, like, I don't consider myself the tip of the spear in terms of the conservative right or commentators or, certain news outlets. I love them, and we're talking about podcasts I love all those guys and they're phenomenal at what they do. But I consider myself one step back from the tip of the spear in the sense that if I can get somebody to think about a truth before they consider their political affiliation, that's where you can make change in culture. You can actually help impact change one step back before they get to the tip. Because how many times have you been around the table at Christmas and there's, uncle and aunties and people that have totally different views. If you can get them before you get to the tip of the argument, you can win them.
Yeah.
You can show your point of view. And the way I do that is just through creativity. So.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I love watching the videos. Like, you can see just some of the ones we were playing before, the kids running around with the sprinkler in the background. It just took me back.
Takes you
of
straight
course,
back.
I grew up in Australia in the 90s, and one of your videos I was actually rewatching today.
Yeah.
It was if you're a girl growing up in the 90s and you're reading the Dolly magazines.
Yeah. Well, I grew up with three sisters, so I literally I smelt the spray on down the hallway, like the Dolly magazines. I stole the little secret part. The Dolly secrets or whatever.
Yeah.
I read them, don't worry, like guilty as charged.
What's it called? Sealed section.
Yeah, the
and you
sealed
had
section.
to rip it open if you wanted to read
I think
what was in there.
my comment or my caption was something like that, like, don't let mum find out you read the sealed section.
You read it.
Yeah.
The other part of that, they had the posters all up in the girls' rooms. Like, I'm very guilty of having Australian Idol contestants.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
No, but there's so much fun. I think it just brings everyone right back. And that's why your videos are so important. I mean, you're bringing so many people together, and it's bringing back a bit more of that Australian pride that we've lost in recent years.
Yeah, I think like we're so divided. Hey, like we're so, especially, I understand the marketplace of ideas and testing the marketplace of ideas. I love that. And I love discourse and I love all of those things. But first you've got to have a shared sense of unity. You've got to go, okay, we're all Australian. Okay. That makes this something special. We're not all from another country, name the country, X, Y, Z. We live in the greatest country on the planet. Like I've lived in the US, we've lived overseas, I travel a lot for work. We truly live in the greatest country on the planet. And I think if we can remember where we live, who we live with, and the freedoms and the safety that we need to fight for, I think most Australians would agree. And, and I think the unfortunate thing is if you're a common sense Australian, now you're considered far right conservative, or you're considered some wacko just because you love faith, community, freedom, your family, self-accountability, like all of these things that were just normal traits, you're now considered to be crazy. And so I enjoy taking one step back to get people to think like, oh, actually, I do miss that. You know, I do miss being around the table with my family. I do miss saying grace. Like, I do miss these things that we've lost. And so in that sense, I feel like that's why they're resonating, you know?
And we have lost them. That's what's so sad. I mean, even the kids running around with the sprinkler in the
I
backyard.
know.
I mean, that's becoming so out of reach for so many people to strive for that, you know, the house with the backyard, you know, having drinks with your neighbours and that sense of community. Anyway, I think your videos are absolutely fantastic. When did you start creating them?
I started creating them, maybe October last year, so it wasn't long. So I run a media agency, so this is my wheelhouse. This is what I do. We tell stories. We work with big brands throughout the world, and we help tell their story. The word AKTA, which is AKTA Media, is the name of the company. The word AKTA is Swedish for genuine, and the idea of starting the company was that we want to make media that tells stories in a genuine way, because there's a lot of noise out there, and so we want to be able to tell stories in a genuine way. So my whole thing for the last 6 years of the business has been telling stories. So all I'm doing now is just being able to access, like, I get ridiculous comments like, oh, why is this AI? Why can't you just go film it? Okay, that's fine. Give me $100 grand. Do you know what I mean? Like, give me your actors, give me the whole set and I'll go film it. Fine. But the reason I can do them so quickly and do them so easily and share more of them is because it's more accessible to do that. And so I think fundamentally I understand how to make film and I understand how to get people to feel things. So now I'm just able to do that quicker and more regularly.
I don't know how you're going to film something when you're capturing, you know, the 90s. I suppose you can, but you'd need.
Well, you'd have to go source a BlackBerry. You have to go get a Discman. Like, where, you know what I mean? Like, there's crazy, ridiculous comments.
It's amazing that you're using AI. So you talked to us about your time in America, obviously.
Yep.
So AKTA Media. So you went to Dallas, is that right?
Yep.
Got a lot of Power Hour viewers in Dallas. So say hello to them.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Let's go. I miss it a lot.
What was it like there?
Amazing. I miss the States a lot. My wife and I had a baby, and so we just, through a series of events, decided to come home just to be with family. 2025, I was there 6 or 7 times. Like, I'm there all the time. So I miss it a lot. It taught me a lot about freedom and what it means to really have a constitution and what it means to have liberties. I think that was the biggest thing, especially in Texas. The big thing is Texas pride, like big trucks, big guns, and just having the freedom to do what you want. That's the sense. It may not always be the case. You know, there's always bounds in things, but that's the sense, is that we're free here. Yeah. And I guess I thought I experienced that here, but I really experienced it there. That was the biggest thing. And Southern hospitality is unbelievable. Like, I put on so much weight, but it was amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, every Sunday after church, it's around to somebody's house for lunch, you know? And it's, how can I help you? The biggest thing in business too is like, here we have tall poppy syndrome. And for those who don't know about tall poppy syndrome, it's this idea that if somebody is doing better than you, we want to cut them down here in Australia. We want to go, oh, you're arrogant. Oh, you're fake, whatever, name it. But that's such a foreign concept especially in Texas. It's like, that guy's winning. I got to help him win, because in him winning, I can win too. And I think that was the biggest thing I miss around business too, is just like, when you're doing well or you see somebody doing well, you want to get around them because you want that to rub off on you. And so, yeah.
I found the exact same thing, even with this show Power Hour, even though we're doing it here in Australia. I've got lots of viewers in America and I'm so grateful for them. But I've had so many people reach out just wanting to help, wanting to be involved, wanting to see you succeed.
That's totally normal.
And, every experience I've had over in America, as you say, the hospitality is next level.
It's amazing.
Just back on the social media and power of social media, because your videos have gone viral and they've impacted so many people. Even though we're both here in Australia now, I used to watch Charlie Kirk's videos all the time. I'd listen to him every day. Especially with doing my show, I would listen to him, get his views on things. I'd get a pretty big sense of where people are at. I admired him so much. And I'm sure you're the exact same as me, just absolutely shattered watching him be killed in the most evil way possible. But I think the silver lining, if there is one, is that he reached so many people because he was telling the truth, and people from all over the globe were listening to him.
Yeah, I mean, I still get a bit emotional, to be honest. Like, to be honest, like I think my wife and I were crying for a few days, and I'm sure you were too. Like, it kind of affected me pretty deeply. And for a guy that I hadn't met, we got some mutual friends. I'm sure you do, and we operate in similar circles and stuff. And so I knew about him and stories privately. He was exactly the same in public. But if I was wrestling with an idea, I would go and see what Charlie says about it. You know, we all have people that we look up to and that we consider their opinion to be valuable. And yeah, we had his college campus videos on every morning, like every night. Let's put Charlie on, you know? They really took out the best of us. Like, he was the best of all of us. He was compassionate. He was very articulate, incredibly intelligent, and compassionate. If he felt somebody was not adversarial, but just bringing ideas, he was very gracious, you know? And I don't know if I can name anybody in the movement now that's like that.
I know.
And they all admit it. Megan, Tucker, they all admit it. Because it's true. He was really the best of us. And so, and I say us, I just mean even before political, just as a human. I mean, firstly, he was a dad to 2 kids. And the way he was taken out, I mean, I remember seeing it on Twitter. I wish I didn't. And it's like the most horrific thing I've ever seen. And we've all seen the videos pop up online, but that was particularly horrific. And so it did something in culture. It did something powerful in some ways. And in some ways, I consider it as you mentioned, silver lining, I consider it to be a good thing in the sense that it woke a lot of people up.
Yeah.
And it was a shock to the system.
Yeah.
You know?
I completely agree. I mean, I was the same as you. I couldn't stop crying for days, and I hadn't even met him. But I think just following him so closely.
We all felt like we knew him, eh?
100% thought he was a friend. And I totally got what you mean by best of us. I mean, and despite your views on whether you're left or right, the way he showed up as a husband, as a dad, I mean, as a citizen, as a patriot, he was so incredible. I think he was so inspiring. He inspired me, still does. No, he's a big loss, and we're really missing his voice. I started noticing though here in Australia, and I know this was happening in the United States as well, people were returning to church. They were feeling called to do that. Did you see that happen too?
Yeah, 100%. I think we were feeling it even before then. I mean, we came out of COVID and we all, you know, we all know what happened there. And we all kind of went, okay, this was a total reorientation, or even some people were disorientated. And I think I was just talking to our pastors last night. We go to a church on the Sunshine Coast, and we were talking about AI and what's coming. And obviously I'm pretty deep in that world. Yeah. And there's parts that are scary that are coming, you know, mass job loss, all of those things. And I said, this is the time that the church can rise up, because this is when people want human connection, meaning one another more than ever, you know? And I think that was similar to what happened with Charlie. It was when you're faced with sickening evil, you're faced with the very next question is, there has to be good then, because it can't just be the presence of evil. And so when you see such evil like that, and everybody saw it, this is the crazy thing, is that you're very, like, my wife didn't see it and some friends didn't, but you're very lucky if you didn't see the video of him getting executed. But when you see that horrific evil, you have to ask yourself, well, there has to be something else. There has to be some good. And so I think, yes, it's driven people back to church. It's also just driven people to ask the amount of messages I got of people, hey, where do I buy a Bible? You know, like, where should I go to church? I live here. Like, I don't know. It's like, you know, you do your best to help, but I think it makes people ask questions. And similarly, in a way, that's, I guess, what I'm trying to do with the videos is like, just to ask more questions. You know what I mean? Like we're so quick to have answers, you know? And that's fine. We have to know where we sit and stand and what we believe in and for. But we've lost the art of asking questions. And that's why Charlie was so great, is because he hosted the floor for anybody to ask questions.
He really did, and he did it so brilliantly.
So well.
And I know we just touched on this a little earlier, but of course, when the news broke that he was assassinated, some of our media here in Australia and over in America just painted him as this far-right extremist for having conservative views and just advocating to have strong values.
Absolutely absurd. But I mean, it's to be expected, right? Like, to be expected, but absolutely absurd. I remember I had to turn off social media for a bit just because I couldn't see the clips. Yeah. I just wanted to get in the comments. It was just, anyway, yeah, it's absolutely absurd. Even now, you hear comments and you see things, you see people cheering on TikTok and celebrating his death. Anyway, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Anyway,
I feel the same as you.
Yeah.
It's really, I found that really difficult.
Yeah.
Even though, of course, as we mentioned, you know, I didn't know him personally. I was so impacted.
I know.
And then to see people celebrating his death, it just felt like I was watching someone celebrate a family member who'd been killed in the most horrific
Totally
way.
felt like that.
It was so awful, and I feel like I see a lot of pretty extreme, disgusting stuff on social media. We cover it on on our show.
Sure
We
you
see it
do,
in the news all the time, but this one I think was particularly hard.
Yeah.
But look, power of social media. Look what you're doing with what you're creating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's next? Are you going to keep doing this?
Yeah, I'll keep doing it for as long as people resonate. I think like the what would you call it? Like the conundrum or the counterbalance I have here is like my goal is to actually get people off their phones.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how about you get off your phone and run in the sprinkler with your kids, or like be present with your family? Like, so the goal is here to actually get people away from their phones. So it might be a win if people stop liking and sharing them because they'll be off their phones more and be more present, But I think the reality is that's probably not going to happen. And I'm totally guilty of that, I actually have a lockbox at home that I have to like pin lock my phone. Yeah, on Sundays I do Sabbath and I just have to actually just really get away from my phone.
Charlie advocated for a lot.
I'm reading his book right now.
Oh, you are?
It's really good. You have to read it.
I will absolutely.
You have to read it. It's really good. Yeah. Anyway, he talks about that sacred day where I don't know how Christian your audience is, but having what God can do in one day, he can you couldn't do in 7. And it's this idea of just like absolutely trusting that God's got it no matter what. And we all live busy, insane lives. But it does something deep in you, like this level of being present. It's like we've lost that art. I was talking to the Uber driver on the way here, and we were talking about just the lost art of having nothing to do, like just being bored.
So
like when was the last time you were just bored?
Exactly.
Even on holiday, I'm like this thing, that thing. I've got to be on the phone. I've got to FaceTime this person. I've got this business deal or whatever. Like I can't remember the last time I was bored. But there's something in that makes us present to the moment, present to God, and it does something in us. And I think we've lost that. We're just quick to jump to a thread on Reddit or a thread on Facebook and share our opinion and blast people.
Yeah.
And so, what's next? I'll continue to do the videos, and I hope that they continue to resonate, and we might advance them. And there's a few brand deals coming up and stuff like that, which is exciting because I think brands need to tell better stories. And so, if we can do that through not just nostalgia, but just getting people to remember a simpler time. Because those times weren't better, Gabriella. Like they weren't necessarily better days. They were just simpler. And they allowed us to be more present.
And I think people were probably kind of one another. I don't know if I've watched too much of the noise on social media, but I feel like we definitely were not as divided back then.
We were way more tolerant.
As we are now. Yeah, that's
way
true.
More tolerant back then. I felt like, what do you think that is though? What do you think changed?
Do I want to say social media has a part of it?
Yeah, I mean, well, social media, okay, so I talked about personal accountability before. That was part of just being a good human being in the 90s, just being accountable. If you got too drunk one night at the pub, you went around and said, sorry, I know you, whatever, name the thing.
Sure.
Now there's no level of personal responsibility. You can say whatever comment you want on social media and get away with it. That's the reality of it. And so you have all of these people, an entire generation of people who feel like they can say whatever they want and get away with it. And I think that has spilt over into real world connection. So they either isolate, I could go on forever about this, but they either isolate or they engage in really horrible arguments that don't make sense, And so it's this echo chamber of, so anyway, my goal really, I would love to get people off their phones more and just do more of this, like have conversation.
Yeah.
I
100% agree with you. And I think looking at some of the people and how, everyone uses social media in different ways. You can use it for good and be inspired by people like yourself and like Charlie, and then spend time away from your phone.
Did you just put me in the same category as Charlie?
I absolutely did. I'm inspired by your videos, and I'm sure Charlie, he would love them.
I know.
I don't know if he ever came to
Australia. We had mutuals, and I was looking forward to the day to meet him.
I
anyway.
know. I was really hoping I could come on the show one day.
Yeah. Anyway.
We love Charlie.
Yeah.
But then there are other people that use it, and you can just see where you can use anything, I suppose, for good or evil, where they're in this echo chamber. And sorry, I'm just going to say it, this left-wing echo chamber where it's getting more and more violent. I mean, there are people here in Australia that were celebrating Charlie's death that are advocating for the President of the United States to be killed.
Yes.
And I think that's where it's quite dangerous. With your videos really taking off, I suppose, after Bondi, that was, I think, an horrific time for Australia, seeing what happened. But I think that incident also woke up a lot of Australians about how we could lose this old Australia that we've taken for granted as always being so safe, so accepting. It's not going to be like that if we don't have strong borders, if we don't control, if we accept people here who want to burn the Australian flag, that want to be radicalized here, what's going to happen to our country?
What's happening to our country,
Yeah.
to be honest. And like, this is why we're seeing someone like Pauline Hanson rise in the polls, which I think is incredible, to be honest, because she's just, look, she's crazy on edges, and that's why we love her. But she's also just very common sense.
Yeah.
The
And
more
she's
you let in,
authentic.
the more you lose. It's like, it's very, yeah, she's just herself. We can't say the same for other politicians on both sides of the aisle, by the way, on both sides. And so I think somebody like her and others who are in parliament, you know, none are coming to mind now, but I follow a bunch of them, and they're themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, President Trump is I think you can trust him more than others, because even if you don't like what he says, at least he's saying it, and at least he's just being authentic.
He's also so funny.
He's hilarious. I mean, he's
if you want
hilarious.
some entertainment, just
He's
watch
so
Trump.
good. He's so good. And so I know we're seeing what's happening in Iran right now, and that scares me a little bit about Australia, and the world, is the retaliation and the people that we've let in. And so there's those things, but I think I would rather focus on rallying people about what makes Australia so great.
Yeah.
You know, because if we can rally around what makes us great and unify in that, I think we'll have a far better country, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think that's that's what I love seeing about your videos so much. And even when I'd see people I know liking them, I'm like, great, you feel that sense of connection, and you feel that sense
And they're
of
probably
pride
way left too, right? Yeah.
That's true. They're not going to celebrate Australia Day, but they'll your videos about what Australia used to be like.
On the way here, the Uber driver, I was telling him about the videos, and he was having a look. He goes, "Oh, you did one on Colonial Day." I said, "No, Australia Day." But he was like, "Oh, I love them, mate. These are great. This reminds me of da 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 da." So we were able to, like, obviously we don't see eye to eye on stuff, but
Sure.
there was a unified love for this country, and that is what is important. Like, I love this country, and I've been to others, and I love America, and I love the American audience. Love you guys. But Australia is one of the most incredible countries on the planet, and we need to protect it. And the best way I know how to use my voice is to tell stories, and I'll keep doing it.
Please keep doing it. And so how do we follow you?
Yeah, so Instagram, Sammy Thompson, and AKTA Media if you want to follow our media account as well. I'm just sticking to Instagram for now. I don't have time to diversify, but if someone wants to look after my TikTok or something, please hit me up. But yeah, I'm just running it all myself on the side. I kind of just get inspired at night and do up the videos. So if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram.
Please do. I highly recommend it. And then if you're watching from America, come out to Australia. I promise there's still a little bit of the old Australia that still
There's
exists,
pockets.
and some greatest Aussies as well.
Yep.
Sam Thompson, thank you so much for coming
Pleasure.
in. Great to speak with
Thank you so much.
And that is Power Hour Deep Dive. Thank you for your company. We'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe to Sky News Australia on YouTube.